What's happening? What's going on, good people? If you're new to this channel, man, my name is C. Nail, how I see it. On this channel, I talk about personal finance, investing, and I will be documenting my journey to getting getting to financial independence. Had to think about that. Sorry, I can't talk this morning. Anyway, so also you notice on my channel, I am silly, but you also notice on my channel just some funny videos, and I will continue to do that, or videos just in reference to things I find interesting, current events, things of that nature. So if that's something that interests you, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Come on, rock with your boy, man. Check me out. I think, I'm an average dude, and someone you can relate to. We have a lot of people, a lot of content creators on YouTube, and there are a lot of good people and people that I even follow, but just an average guy that you can relate to. You can see my journey, and you can see yourself inside of a lot of my journey, my ups, my downs, all that, man. So come check your boy out, rock with me. And again, it would be appreciated if you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any videos moving forward. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 10 things I was doing that kept me broke and living paycheck to paycheck. I think as we move through these 10 things, you may be able to see yourself inside of some of these things, or you know what, I did that, or I still do that. And some of us are still living that. So my hope is that if I can even inspire one person or two people, just to change some of the things that you're doing. Learn from my hiccups, my mistakes, or each other in this community that we're growing and trying to build together. So, I'll be going over 10 things that I was doing that kept me broke and living paycheck to paycheck. So, without further ado, let's get into it, good people. So number one on the list, numero uno. I don't know, I just had to do that. Anyway, number one on the list is not budgeting. I know this is maybe corny as hell, maybe something that people get tired of hearing, but it's real. It's real. I had no clue where my money was going. We all had an idea or have an idea of what we're bringing in, take home. But I had no idea where my money was going. And I know I would pay some bills and I take care of, rent and water and power, but I didn't have a budget. I didn't have a written plan and put my dollars to work on paper before the month end begins. So I really had no clue where my money was going. And I know I would move through money and, I'd take my little allowance, but it often runs you into late fees because, oh, damn, man, I forgot this is due on X date. This is due on the 1st, or this is due on this date. So you wind up spending more unnecessary money when you're unorganized. You don't know where the hell your money's going. And that was me. I had no budget, no written plan. So I was just shotgunning. And for the most part, things got paid, but I didn't maximize my money. And then on top of that, I ran into late fees and things of that nature because I was forgetting, oh, man, I forgot this was due this date. So now I got late fees. And you can call on trying to argue down the late fees, but at the end of the day, it's more unnecessary money going out than what should be going out. The second thing that kept me broke or living paycheck to paycheck was living above my means. Just keeping it 100, keeping it a buck, man. I had the fancy apartment, the Mercedes, the E350, and I stayed fresh. Was shopping every week, getting clothes, shoes. I probably had, anybody that knows me or my good friends, I probably had 15, 20 different colognes. I mean, I kept going. Shoes, all that stuff. and living above my means. And in my mind, because my bills were taken care of, that I could afford it. You know, in my mind, living below my means, what's that? Like I'm good. My bills are taken care of, and I'm fly. I got the whip. My place is nice. That's what we shoot for, right? No, bruh. Number 3 on the list. And by the way, if you stick around at number 10, it's probably the funniest, the funniest of the 10, but especially to my fellas, you guys probably can relate to number 10, to a lot of these, but definitely number 10. So stick around. Going out. So we get out, I get up with the fellas, we go out, just to have a good time, have a couple of drinks, people watch, laugh, and then go home. But what happens is we go out and there's no limit in terms of what we're going to spend. Now, the particular places we go to, if and when we were going out, we would pretty much go to the same place. So we became familiar with the staff, ownership, all that. So we would get discounts on drinks and all that kind of stuff, but you still wind up spending more if it's a group of 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, and you get one round or a couple of rounds, and the next thing you know, that money's adding up. And then if you're doing that every weekend or every other weekend or what have you, that money adds up quickly. Instead of saying, you know what? And what we started doing is, at best, okay, I may get one round, right? And, it sort of go around the table or whatever, but you always wind up spending more than what you would have hoped to spend. Most people don't even have a limit on what they, well, okay, here's what I'm gonna spend. I know I did. So we get out, we get to having fun, chopping up, drinks start flowing, we start laughing, having a good time. Next thing you know, you wake up that next morning like, man, where my money at? I thought, oh, wait a minute, it's gone. Let's go. Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is me thinking I didn't make enough to prioritize saving. And let me explain that. And I see it in life now. A lot of people think, man, when I make more money down the road, man, I got to keep grinding, keep hustling. I'm going to get more money. Then I'll be able to save and, do X, Y, Z. Realistically, and I didn't realize in that moment, it's not really what you make, it's what you can keep, right? So if you minimize what you have going out, no matter what your income level is, you still have to live below your means and invest into things that are going to bring you true value. All those clothes and shoes, like I was saying, living above my means in the previous one, none of that really brought me value. Now what I find is the things that are more important to me are experiences. Experiences with my friends, my family members, loved ones. For me, those are the things that I can take with me for the rest of my lives. But this pair of J's, although even if you take care of your shoes and clothes and all that, they only last for so long. And it's not like they're building value as time goes on for the most part. And for me, I was discouraged from even saving because in my mind, I didn't make enough to save. I'm not one of those rich dudes out there making all that money for, every month or every paycheck. So why even bother, man? I'm gonna just do me. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna live life, until God called me home. But that was a very toxic mindset. It absolutely was. And no matter where you are, you have to look at what you can cut back on and what's really important to you and what truly brings you happiness and adds value to your life. That was the struggle. And I didn't want to give up those material things, so I just gave up on savings. That was easier because in my mind, I don't make enough money anyway, so I worry about that stuff down the road. Wrong. Number 5. And number 4 and number 5 sort of go together, or they bleed into each other. But number 5 is keeping up with the Joneses. You get up with your boys or whatever the case may be, or you see somebody, you see your neighbor, your cool, the coworker that you cool with, they get a new pair of J's, or like for right now, as we speak, there's a pair of LeBrons, and I'm gonna show them on the screen right here. I want those LeBrons. But guess what? I'm not getting those LeBrons. There are other priorities that I have. There are more important things. And guess what? They're going to be there. They will be there. Down the road, they'll be there, but they really don't bring me any value. And that's what it is, shifting those priorities. For me, then I couldn't do it. So if I saw one of my boys or a coworker or whomever it may be, or walking past somebody in the mall or whatever the case, like, man, them things clean, bruh. I got to get them. And we all fell into that. Some still fall into that. Brother, things that we'll sacrifice or the things that we'll justify. Spending our last just trying to get some J's, and they look cool. Or even, with the Mercedes that I had or anything, all the shoes, clothes. People see you. They see you a second time. No matter who it is, family, friends, whomever. Third time, like the pop is gone. The wow factor is gone. At the end of the day, you still have to live with yourself. At the end of the day, you were inspired by whomever you walked by in the mall and saw the J's they had on. So you were inspired to spend your last, or to spend money that you couldn't afford to spend at the time, for the material stuff. Now, I'm not saying, in my opinion, we work hard and we want to enjoy those fruits of our labor. But right now, you gotta dig in, bruh. And that's what I had to realize. You do the work now, do the work up front, so later on, you don't have to worry about it, and you can enjoy those fruits of the labor without stressing out about it. Number 6, and I know some of you guys can relate to this. Them damn payday loans or those personal loans. I ride down to the east side, and there was a spot down there. I would always go because they were always quick. Hey, we got you, baby. We got you, baby. We can slide you this money right now. Today. We can slide you this money right now. $1,200. $50. And as I kept going, I didn't realize I was going into debt to pay for debt. Or I'm going into debt because I'm not wise with my money. And I shouldn't be here in the first place. But their job is to take full advantage of it. It's called predatory lending. So I kept doing that. And of course, as you build history with these places, they shooting you emails, they hitting you up on the text, they calling you. Hey, bruh, don't forget about us, player. If you need something, got you. We got you. So I take my dumb ass on down there, get that money. Oh, and I'm living the high life for the weekend. I'm living the high life during that week, or whatever the case may be. Or I actually may pay a bill, but I'm going into debt to pay debt, which made no sense. And again, as I would build more and more history with them, the amount that they gave me go up, and it finally clicked. I called up there one day because I was in a bind. I made my own bed, and I shouldn't have been. So I said, hey man, if I refinance my loan now, what can I get? So I never forget this. So the lady was like, oh, hey Cornell, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Great to hear from you. Let me check it out. She started typing away. They get excited. So I said, oh, here we go. I need this money. In my mind, I need this money. So she comes back. She's like, you can get it was like $254 and some change. And we can get that to you today. Can you stop by on your lunch break? Because I called just before lunch. Can you stop by on your lunch break? We can get that to you right now. Get that money in your pocket, baby. I said, okay. Thinking in my head, well, that money would be good because that would give me what I need, and then I still have a little extra. I said, well, what by refinancing and taking that $254 out? How much would that increase my loan with you guys, my balance with you guys? Oh, it'll be right at X amount. I said, wait a minute, that's like $900. She said, yeah, but we can get that money to you today, baby. Swing through, holla at me. Hell no. In that moment, I finally realized, it finally clicked. Man, what the hell am I doing? Number 7. Now, this one's, it may sound crazy, but just listen. Number 7, giving too much. We all want to help people, and especially if if you're a giver and you have a good heart, which most people do. Hopefully, most people do. You want to help people when you can, but you can't help somebody when you can't help yourself. if you got a friend or a complete stranger or a family member or whoever it may be, and there's an emergency and they need $200, $300, whatever it is, and you know that giving that money is going to put you in a bind, or you're not being a good steward of your own money, so you don't have no emergency fund saved. You need this cash. It says a lot, and it speaks volumes about your character and even my character. But at the end of the day, you can't help somebody else if you can't help yourself. We're supposed to get our own house in order. And the other thing I didn't pay attention to, and this is sort of crazy, but it kicked in afterward, was when that light bulb went off in my head, right? Is pay attention to who's asking, who you're giving money to. And are you truly helping them because an emergency truly came up, or it's a once or twice event to where they typically are, pretty much on their money? Or are you perpetuating bad habits? Are you harboring a fugitive? If there's particular individuals, a particular individual that's constantly asking you for money, but they're not being good stewards of their own money, are you really helping? Are you just putting some salve on it? Putting a little Band-Aid on it and getting them over that bridge to the next payday. And I think for me, we've worked too hard for our money, and then I flip it. I flip the scenario and I say, man, I know, I have family members or my boys that would be there for me if I needed anything. But I have to look at the positions that I put them in. And this is me thinking, not necessarily then, because I just kept giving it. Some of it got paid back, some of it didn't. And money, you can that's the fastest way to mess up a friendship or relationship. But even thinking about it now, it's like I wouldn't want to put my boys in that situation, because the problem is not actually the money. The problem is me and not being a good steward of the money. So I'm having to constantly reach out to them. I don't know what they have going on. And because of who they are and what they mean to me and what I mean to them, of course they're going to extend themselves. But I want to put my boys in that situation, and I have to tell them. And don't put yourself in that situation. If you see me not doing the right things, tell me no, I need to figure it out. Because at a certain point, we have to be accountable. Birds of a feather flock together. And if these are really your boys or your homegirls or your family or whomever, somebody you love and care about, why would you not care about their pockets as well? And not putting them in situations that are going to overextend themselves. The bottom line is, you are who you surround yourself with. So I had to realize, and we grew into focusing on good stewardship of our own money. Now, nobody's asking for money. Everybody's on top of their finances and saving that money. But back then, we're just, with all the reasons up to number 7, all our money was gone. So we're perpetuating that circumstance. And hey man, bro, you think I can borrow like 100? Let your boy get a bill. Let your boy get 2 bills. You know what I'm talking about? I'll pay you back on payday. Again, going into debt to pay off more debt, or just to perpetuate some bull. Now I'm going to buy a shirt. Now I'm going to buy shoes or what have you. And it just didn't make sense. Number 8. So when I finally did start making a budget, I would make a budget, but I wouldn't make a realistic budget, or I just wouldn't stick to it. So it was like I was just checking the box, but not actually using the financial tool to strengthen my financial situation. I became quick to make a budget, and it all looked organized and neat, and it was cute. But that's all it was, and the discipline inside me, like Dave Ramsey says, finances is 80% action, just doing it, and 20% head knowledge. And that action and that self-discipline was the piece that I was missing. But I was quick to make a budget. I wasn't following that. And it wasn't a realistic budget, meaning a lot of people say, and I said this in my last video, and if you haven't seen that, my last videos, please go and check those out. I did a Robinhood update for my Robinhood portfolio in terms of stock market investing. And then the video before that, it was why a budget shouldn't seem like Thanos. So if you haven't, and all my content, please go ahead and check those out, and please like those videos as well. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those videos in the future. You know, I talked about that. A lot of people don't like a budget because, oh, it's restrictive. It's restrictive. Well, no, it's as restrictive as you make it. You know, so but you have to be realistic with it. If you know you like to get your hair cut, first of all, you have to fill out your budget. Then your second priority, because if you're watching this video in terms of finances, or you're obviously not at a perfect point. None of us are, but we can always continue to strive and work to get there. And that's what this is all about. Creating those good habits so they become just instinct, natural instinct, you know, and that's reactionary for you. But anyway, if you know you like to get your hair cut, you know, every week, well, first, I mean, can you at least cut it back to every 2 weeks? You know, you're not going to die from not getting your hair cut every single week, right? Or look at those expenses that you have going out, but you have to build that stuff into the budget. If you know you like to get your hair cut, you need to put that haircut into the budget. If you know that you need to buy work clothes or whatever this month, put that into the budget. Now, some of those may not be every single month. You know, not everybody buys clothes every single paycheck. Back then I was like an idiot. And I'd rack up all these clothes, and half of them I didn't even wear. Or I wear once or twice and never wear it again. So now I'm giving away stuff. Like, so the giving part of it was nice, but how we got there was sort of stupid. It's funny, as my mind shifted and my mindset shifted, all that stuff became less important. So I'm more worried about owning shares of Nike and owning a small part of Nike and building that position versus spending all my monies on buying the shoes. Now, in that sense, it's almost like I'm paying myself when I buy a pair of Nikes. Like, I will get those LeBrons eventually. Not right now. It's not a priority. And they're not going nowhere. Do I have the liquid cash to go get them? Yeah. But I'm not worried about them LeBrons. I'm worried about getting out of debt. I'm worried about reaching that financial independence. That's my priority. The rest of it, it can wait. So, but now, even if you think about it like that, now when I buy a pair of Nikes, I'm sort of paying myself because I'm a small owner in the company, which is pretty cool. But again, I'd rather let the other consumers pay me, you know, when it comes to that, at least for right now. So I don't know. Maybe, and my hope is I can get to the point where, you know, the dividend that Nike pays me will fund me buying my next pair of Nikes. So long-term goals, squad goals. Number 9, and we almost to the famous number 10, but number 9 was, and a lot of people fall into this, very irresponsible with your money. But guess what? When tax time come, baby, it's gonna get me right, baby. It's gonna get me right, baby. It's gonna be all good, baby. I ain't even gotta worry about it. I'm gonna get X amount of dollars. I'm gonna be right back on top. That's the continuum that we get caught in, and everybody's done it. Keep it 100 with yourself. Keep it 100. Keep it a buck. Everybody either has done that or still does it to this day. Now, I've adjusted my payroll taxes so I don't even get a refund. I don't want to look forward to having to wait because it perpetuates bad habits. I'd rather have that money throughout the year so I can do more damage throughout the year. I can earn more money on that money or pay off stuff faster using that money throughout the year. Give it to me. I don't want you overcharging me in taxes or taking out too much. So, you know, when tax time comes, I get this big check. Will I get a check? Yeah, I've adjusted it so I should, you know, get just a couple $100 max, but that'll just be thrown in savings. Or, you know, if I'm still paying off debt at that point, I'm going to throw it toward the debt. But so we're so irresponsible. There are families that overextend themselves on credit, maxing out credit cards for Christmas and things of that nature, just to try and pay it off when tax time comes. And then when tax time comes, most of the people don't actually pay it all off. So it's just a perpetual cycle. You may pay some, but then you stray, you go over here, squirrel. So the plan that you set for yourself never works out, and you do that year after year after year after year. So I fell into that. Man, look, I know, hey, I'm looking forward to tax time, baby. Get me right, baby. And some people, because you may be married or have kids, what have you, you get a substantial amount of money each year. What do you really do with that money? I was blowing it. I had all kind of plans. It's sort of like a New Year's resolution. You have this plan, you hype. Man, you hit that new year, you hit the ground running. Where you in that gym, you working out, okay, you running, I'ma eat healthier, yada, yada, yada. By March, all that shit done faded. The gym empty. Oh man, I ain't gotta wait for nobody on the bench. Let me get on here real quick, knock my sets out. So we can't do that to ourselves. And that's exactly what I was doing. Number 10. So number 10, we'll just get into it. Dating. I know it may sound crazy, and we don't always think about that kind of stuff because you're just trying to get to know somebody at that point. So what happens is, especially as a man, and I know there's some, women out there that, no, we need to do this 50-50. But if you think about dating as a whole, you always want to put your best foot forward. But what we tend to do as fellas is overextend ourselves. Now we going to eat at these nice restaurants. Now we spending a whole lot more money trying to impress and trying to put our best foot forward when our best foot is us. And if there's a requirement of a woman that you have to go to these fancy restaurants to try and impress her and do all that stuff, it didn't click in my mind at the time is that who you really want in your life? If we're always having to go out and I'm always having to spend this money, and it's not, so I guess it's two-sided. It's one, she's never even trying to pitch in, or two, that's her expectation. That's sort of a problem. It's a problem all around with you and with him. I had to humble myself, and it took a while for me to get to the point where I want somebody in my life that our financial goals can align. We can focus and aim at the same target. We're not so caught up in the right now and the material stuff, and being willing to sacrifice long-term for short-term happiness. Am I saying that you should never have nice dinners and things of that nature? No, man. And again, that's what all this is for, budgeting and doing all that so that you can enjoy those things later on or in moderation. But I realize that, you meet somebody and you spend all this money, you go out, nice dinners, do this, that, and the third, and then that doesn't work out. Or you guys realize, this isn't, where I want to be. So eventually you may meet someone else. You're like, oh, here we go again, but we'll see. Same thing. So when realistically, man, the point of dating, going out on a date is to get to know each other, not to try and spend all this money to try and impress somebody else through where you take them. It's really the experience. You guys should be able to meet for coffee, sit back, laugh, joke, talk to each other, and not have to go and spend $200 or $150 or even more at a fancy restaurant, trying to impress them to this. But those are 10 things I used to do that kept me broke and living paycheck to paycheck. So if you haven't already, and if you got this far in the video, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Love you. We're building a family here. We're building a community here. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any of my content coming forward, and go back and check out some of my previous videos, man. Hopefully you get some value from those, just like I hope you got some value from this, or at least a laugh here and there, or you could relate to it, like, man, been there before. But till next time, people, peace, love, and make good financial decisions. I'm out.